Hello everyone and welcome back to physics class. Today we are going to continue our topic of significant figures. This time, however, we are going to look at the rules on how you use significant figures when you do things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So, first rule involves addition and subtraction. In a calculation, the value with the smallest number of decimal places determines the number of decimal places in the answer. So here's an example. If we have 1.2 grams plus 1.22 grams plus 1.222 grams, our answer is going to be 3.6 because 1.2 has only one decimal place. So even though these other numbers here, right here, have multiple decimal places, we cannot use those decimal places because the smallest one is this one right here. This is the smallest accuracy that we have to work with. When we talk about multiplication and division, it's a different story. In a calculation, the value with the smallest number of significant figures determines the number of significant figures in the answer. All right? Here's an example. So we have 27.53 newtons times 74.5 meters. So if we count the significant figures of these ones, we have 4 significant figures in this one right here. So we have 4 sig figs for this one here. And then we have 3 sig figs for this answer right here. This means that our answer has to have 3 sig figs. It cannot have 4. So that is the maximum number of sig figs our answer can have. So we have to round our answer so that we have 3 significant figures. In this case, it becomes 2,050 joules. Now, when it comes to more complex calculations, we need to figure out what rules come into context and come into play when. When calculations include addition or subtraction and multiplication or division, these calculations have to be performed separately. So an example, here we have 5.43 plus 3.457 times 2.33 divided by 1.2. So here we need to remember our order of operations. So let's just write our bed mass up here, right? So we have brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So in this case here, what we want to do is we want to deal with the brackets if we have any. And we do. You just don't see them. This right here, we have a bracket right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to multiply these two numbers together. And then we do this division here. All right? So when we multiply these two numbers together, we know that we have 4 sig figs here and 3 sig figs here. So when we multiply that out, we should actually end up with a number that is 3 sig figs. And I realized that I totally forgot to put in that step. So I'm just going to rewrite that right here. So right here. So if I were to calculate that out, let me just pull up my calculator real quick. 3.457 times 2.33. I end up with 8.0548. But because I only want 3 sig figs, I'm going to keep it like this. It's going to be 8.05. Now, we don't have any exponents, but we do have a division. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our division. So we look at the number of sig figs. Let's do this in a different color. So we have 3 sig figs here, and we only have 2 down here. So our answer is going to end up with two significant figures like we see here. Okay? So 8.05 divided by 1.2 gives us 6.7. Then we need to do our addition. So when we do our addition, remember we're looking for the number of decimal places. So this one has 2 decimal places and this one only has 1. So when we add these together, we have to keep the lowest decimal place available. And that is how we use significant figures. If you have any questions, do not be afraid to ask. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye!